Yo, welcome to the No Limit Podcast, also known as the Grown Image Swapcast, your number one destination for the trading of vintage Playboy magazine. Here with Annie Hefner, Danny Ball, and the man fresh off fighting for his life in Annie Ball's bathroom, No Limit Eddie. What up?
No limit, bro. You laid a stinker and a half.
You smelled it from here?
Bro, I smelled it before you even left the room. You're letting that gas out. You're letting the gas leak out.
Yeah, dude. Do you think that farts stink worse when you have to poop?
Yeah.
Like,
you're blowing
because
that
they
air
gotta
through the
slip
shit.
past what's inevitably right there waiting to exit?
Yeah, bro.
I would agree.
when you just fart because there's some gas, and you know when you're farting because you're about to shit. You know what I mean? It's a way different thing. Yeah. Way to go. Way to start this off.
Yeah.
Farts and shit.
Well, we are trying something new tonight. You had to eventually think, how many times could we come up with 3 topics in a row?
Yeah.
So instead of coming up with 3, we're going to come up with 15. And that's the way we're going to go, because that's much easier, honestly, coming up with 15 than 3.
I don't know. For some reason, I just think that, like, sticking to 3 topics is tough. Like, when we can just talk. You know, anything that comes to our mind, we can just talk about it.
Yeah, and it is kind of
do
true
it already.
if you think about it. 15 of them, that means that more things are allowed because you know you got to spend less time talking.
Yeah, you can just talk about whatever.
You can say,
what I mean?
like, you can have a little poop,
Yeah.
little poop fart,
Little poop.
segment, 2-minute, move on to the next one,
Poop mouth.
which is the absolute ridiculousness of Philadelphia bringing back their mask mandate.
Dude.
Our home
Like,
city, Philadelphia.
All the other times the mask mandate came back and stuff, it's like, all right, fine, sure. But now this time, to me, it's really like this is going way too far. I can't take it. You know what I mean? What are you checking? The paranoia? The paranoia of the camera? But yeah, dude, like, I just don't understand. Are they going to always just go back and forth and back and forth? At this point, I'd rather just keep it. Just keep it. You know what I mean? Like, why take it away just to give it to us back? Like, the summer's coming, bro. I don't want to fucking put a mask on anymore.
But
I'm trying to be on
are
the
you
beach
saying?
smiling.
Well, are you saying just keep it either way, whether you keep it off or keep it on?
Yeah, like until
You just want
COVID's like not a
consistency.
problem at all. Just unless like no one's getting COVID, like have no mask, right? If no one's getting COVID, then have no mask. But if people are still getting COVID, just fucking have the mask mandate. Fine. But I also don't. I really
You don't like
believe-
the switching back and forth.
I believe in my heart that the masks do nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really do believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what? And I really think that it's not going to matter at the end of the day if I have a mask on. When I walk into the restaurant, get to my seat, and then take it off.
I'm actually surprised that you still even think into it that deep. Because for me, it's like an open and shut thing. It's
That
like
just fucking bullshit.
I don't even want to begin to get into the depth of things like that it may or may not help at all. Like, I don't even want to talk about that anymore. It's been two plus years. I'm done with it, bro. I can't tell you how long I have thought of the day that I would be able to get on this podcast and COVID was over, and I could finally admit that probably for the last year leading up to now, I have not given one single fuck. I haven't dedicated a thought to it. I haven't paid attention to anything from any media outlet about it. I just acted as if it does not exist. Now, yeah, in that past year, if I had to go in a store wearing a mask, I would do it just to avoid any annoying
Right. Yeah, so would I.
confrontation. But as far as like really giving any sliver of a fuck about COVID-19, I have been done, bro. And it's just like now more people that were invested in it for longer than I was are done. Are just like
me.
nah.
But I also never put a mask on like for my safety. You know what I mean? I always like wore my mask in Rite Aid because it was just the thing to do, so you didn't have to have somebody like excuse me. Like I didn't want to have to go through that. But I never really cared about COVID. I didn't stay in. Like I was always out. Like from March of 2020, I was out the door. Like I never really. And we've kind of actually avoided talking about COVID pretty much the entire time this podcast has been going on.
That used to be a thing in the very beginning of the podcast.
Like,
when
we were
first
not
started
talking about
because
COVID.
COVID was heavy in the news, heavy
We started
on
this during
everyone's
COVID.
mind.
Like we were like on lockdown
Yeah.
when we were talking about starting a podcast. And we started it September of 2020, which was, I guess kind of still like full swing COVID because I actually got COVID in October 2020. So it was definitely full swing, but there was probably at least over 10 times where we just decided, like, before a podcast started, like, we're not talking about COVID. Like, whatever COVID was going on in the news, like, avoid talking about COVID. No one wants to hear that bullshit, one. And it's just like, we don't care.
Well, part of it was back then.
Is it ignorant, though, that we don't care, you think? Or is it really just bullshit?
It wasn't that we didn't care. It was just that we were starting up a new show and we didn't want to be the COVID show.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
everything
true.
was everything at the time was COVID show.
And now everyone's be talking about COVID now, and then we're talking about it.
Exactly. But I was going to say about that is it hasn't been talked about, though, heavily in so long that I feel like maybe people might be fiending for it. They got that itch for that COVID
For
news.
that COVID talk? That C talk?
It was kind of like, yo, where'd it go?
Dude.
For a while. For a little while, it was kind of like people are just moving on. Now it's back in the news.
I don't know, dude. I'm definitely not buying into it at all.
I think, like, I was always huge on, especially at the gym, because the gym was the one place where it's like, I really wish I didn't have to wear this mask, but I'm not the confrontational type, so I'm just going to wear it. But I really don't know if the next time that I walk in the gym, when the mask mandate goes back into effect, if I'm going to wear one. Because I think it's just finally
Are you
time.
gonna become Bruce Willis, the guy who goes in and starts fighting everybody about wearing a mask?
I'm not gonna argue with anybody. Honestly, if they ask me to leave, I'll probably just leave. But I just want to walk in without it and just see if they even give enough of a fuck. Because at some point, people are
everyone's
just gonna just say fuck it.
Dude, how could you still be fighting that battle? How could you really get mad at somebody for not wearing a mask? It still happens. I've seen people like ask, like people I work with, like, nobody in here is wearing a mask. How is this right? Like, people do still say that. It's very rare, and they always come off as completely crazy. They come off as lunatics, bro. Like, they really do come off like they're out of their minds. Like, what do you see in the world? Do you see, like, hospital beds rolling into the street? Like, do you think that it's really a fucking big-ass pandemic? Like, yes, people have died. I went to a funeral for somebody that had COVID. You know what I mean? It's definitely a real thing. I get it. I 100% understand.
100%.
But do you see, like, mass hysteria going on that you think that you have to be the, you know, law and order everywhere you go? That the person behind you in line's not wearing a mask? I was in Trader Joe's one time, and, like, some lady, bro, she looked like a librarian. She had, like, all denim, like, dress with, like, a Wonder Woman backpack.
Canadian
and, like,
tuxedo.
She was, like, 56. She had, like, the Catholic schoolgirl shoes. And she was like, can you please back up? Like, please back up. I was like, I'm like, really
you swine!
I'm like,
you dirtball!
I was like, I'm really not even like up your ass. And I can so easily just like say I was just the wrong person and I freaked out. Like, why would she say that? I could go up to her at that point and start coughing. Like, if I was really an insane person, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that people have that, like, that gall to be like, can you please back away from me? Like, who the fuck are you? What are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not sick. I'm standing here. Like, I'm like, I don't know. It's definitely weird.
Why do I feel like I came in? I actually came into a situation like that, but not anything COVID related. Just hilarious with how close you are to someone in line. One time I was at a Starbucks during COVID, and I get to the front of the line. First of all, dynamics of the line. In front of me are two young Latino parents who are letting their daughter order Starbucks, I guess, for the first time. She's like 13 or 14, and they're all like laughing, like all giddy about her gonna order for them. And they're telling her the order, and they're like going over all this, and I just start to think in my mind, like, dog, this is gonna be a whole ordeal at the register. Like, they're acting like she's like turning 21 and they're buying her a car or something. Like, they're telling her to Starbucks order and letting her order herself. But whatever. So I already know that that's gonna happen. So I kind of mentally prepare to just wait a little longer. The line was already long. So she goes up, she orders the stuff that her parents wanted or whatever. And they were watching her, bro, like they were like chaperones at a prom, like looking like, ooh, is she gonna get it right?
Oh my god.
Is she gonna forget the cake pop?
Dude, like
the dad like came up at one point, like the lady must have looked like she had a question for the daughter, and the dad like walked up behind her like, you all right?
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, what's going on here? It wasn't a thing like people might be thinking like they don't know English or something because I said they were Latino, so maybe that's why like they're letting her order. No, they were like, I just said Latino as a descriptor. Like they spoke English. They were American. They just were young, and their daughter was young. So I don't know. That was another added dynamic to it.
Dude, like I don't know. Maybe you feel this way, but it's like I'm not the one to do that with. You know what I mean? Like, because I work in customer service. Like sometimes people like send their kid to talk to me because they want their kid to start kind of, doing that. Like, don't do that to me though. Find somebody else. Like, I just don't have the time because kids are like, hey, can you, like, I don't have the time for that at all.
Right.
Because then you just got to stare at them. And
you're
like,
talking about at work, people talking to you.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, these Starbucks workers are at work, and, like, now, like, this girl is like, kid, yeah. That's all kids ever do. They can never get a word out. Like, they're fumbling over everything.
Now, how much depth did I just give you with that tale right there?
How much what?
Depth that like
that
I
was
went in,
good.
This,
so, like,
in depth, but that wasn't. But the thing
line
is,
dynamic. I'm understanding.
But the thing is, that wasn't like the story. That was good
you're
enough.
Just setting up.
So I'm in line next, right? And now everybody in line behind me wasn't able to observe what was going on as well as I was. So they just thought, damn, this line's really stopped moving. And I'm at the front, so maybe they think it's me. Who knows? But behind me the whole time, there were 3 Russian guys. Now, I'm saying Russian. They could have been anything. Ukrainian.
Beef.
Anything. Beef, yes, beef. Anything Eastern European, but I assume Russian because I was in Northeast Philly. They got like a heavy community of Russian over
Always
there.
assume Russian.
So I hit the register, and I'm ordering my like 1 coffee, maybe 2, and all of a sudden I just literally feel like presence behind me. Like, and you know when you say someone's breathing down your neck, this was not an exaggeration. Like, I really might have felt like hot air on my neck. And I'm still ordering, and I just look over my shoulder, barely enough to turn around, and I'm just like, I see these 3 Russian dudes standing behind me. Now, these are big dudes. Like, they ain't no little dudes. They're speaking in Russian the whole time. You know, they seem a little tough. But now my mood has just kind of flipped because I held it in while the girl was ordering, and now it's like too much. I've waited in this long line. I had to wait for the quinceañera at the register, and then the dude behind me is now on my neck. So I turn around.
Well, it's 3 dudes, but one's like
to these 3 guys, and
one's like talking sweet nothing, like he's about to get in there.
In the middle of ordering. And I see that it's 3 of them. I see that they're like pretty big dudes, and I got to make the choice. Like, now they know I've turned around. Am I going to bitch out and not say something and just turn back around after saying it's three of them? Or am I just going to go with it and see what happens? And I went with it. I turned around and I said to the dude, yo, you want me to order you something? And he just kind of looked at me like he didn't know at first. And then all 3 of them just started laughing. They were like, and just backed up a little bit. And I laughed too. So it was all cool. But I did put it out there. I risked it.
What if he just like chokeslammed you?
What if he just stole me and I just started getting rolled on? That all went through my head. I was like, damn. As soon as I started saying it, I was like, in 15 seconds, I could be on the ground getting stomped out.
In Starbucks, of all places. Liberal ass place, nobody's coming there to rescue. They're all going to be like...
In Starbucks, I could have been.
Dude, of course all that happened in Starbucks.
I think the dad would have helped me, the Latino dad.
Yeah, he was just in a good mood. Like, his daughter was...
He would have looked out, for sure. Yeah. And he saw that I had patience. Mm-hmm. I wasn't behind in line complaining.
Was he a big
dude? Let's go.
No. Like, the two you couldn't have got it done still, you think?
Us 2 versus them 3? It would have been a better fight, but
you're in a good environment. Starbucks is a pretty good environment for like environmental like
inside
finishes
Target
and stuff. Like you can like smack somebody's head on the table, grab something at the counter, and
Starbucks
throw it.
Inside Target.
Oh yeah, so you got like shopping carts and stuff there. You can have a whole like backroom brawl.
A lot of barriers too that you can like move around, get shifty.
Yeah, I think a 2 versus 3 in like a Target Starbucks is definitely anyone's game, depending on like your awareness. Dude, talking about Bruce Willis, did you see he's like he's like deaf, dumb, and blind or something?
All of them?
Nah, he has something where like he can't talk no more.
What do you mean?
Like some kind of like stroke that's not like a stroke or something like that, but like now he can't talk, he can't act, he's like shaky. Ain't that crazy? That can just happen to you like at any time. Like your body can just be like, and now you're gonna stop talking.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, you had a whole entire career, and now you're done. And it's gone.
Your voice box is just like, I'm a head out.
Like, you're fine one day, right? And the next day you go to your daughter and you're like, who are you? And then you have, like, dementia. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, all you do is go to sleep one time and you wake up and you're like, you know what? Where am I?
It's crazy how shit happens like that. And people always had this symptom of thinking that it can't be them. All unique situations in life, nobody thinks it can be them. And in reality, it's just as much a chance of it being you as anybody else.
Yeah, you think that it, like, sometimes I, like, kind of fall victim to this mindset where it's my world.
Right.
Like, I'm living in my world right now because this is everything. The way I see everything is my perception because like, this is my existence, you know what I mean? So, like,
Mind freak!
Mind freak! You tend to, like, to forget that, like, I could just get jumped. You know what I mean? Like, I could get jumped by 3 Russians in Starbucks and get my ass kicked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that really can just happen. You can get hit by a car. Look at Dwayne Haskins. They said it could be, like, a suicide thing, but, like, yeah.
I didn't hear nothing about that. How could it be a suicide thing?
Apparently his friend or somebody said before that he's, like, mentioned, like, that's how, like joking around kind of. Like, hey, I would just jump in front of a fucking truck. Have, like, depression and stuff.
That's insane, actually.
I know, because, like, dude, 24 years old, like he's healthy,
Jump
probably.
in front of a truck.
That's actually, I mean, it's fucked up to the truck driver because they got to live with that. But, like, kind of just going off from the road and jumping in front of a truck, your family don't find it. You know what I mean? Like,
I thought he was by the. I thought it also said he was by the airport or something.
Nah, he was walking on the highway and got hit by a truck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why would you be walking on the highway?
Unless you're under the influence of fucking some crazy drug like bath salts and you're just like rabid fighting possums like under the freeway. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know how you end up in that situation. It was obviously dark out. You know?
Yeah.
Just jumped right in front of a truck.
A garbage truck.
Yeah, dude. Like, imagine the
it's
truck
just
driver.
weird that you're saying that. The fact that you say that his friend claims that he used to joke around and say, if I kill myself, I would jump in front of a truck. And then that's how he dies after going and wandering and walking on the highway. It really makes me feel like there's no other option but suicide.
Yeah, it just makes it seem possible. The dude's 24 years old. I mean, he's in the NFL. He's not
Did you
see
the Adam Schefter thing?
Nah.
They fucking got Adam Schefter doing crazy shit again. His tweet about it said, like, Dwayne Haskins, a standout at Ohio State who started for 4 years there, or whatever, one more good thing about him, who started for 4 years there and then played at Washington. Where was his last team? He was at Washington the whole time?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
It was like before.
I think he was currently rostered as the backup on the Steelers.
Yeah, he said something about like before he played one season for Washington before floundering and then riding the bench. Now back up for the Steelers. Like 2 bad things about him. 2 things trashing.
Has died.
And and then just like
that's
died.
That's every Adam Schefter tweet though. He's like, Dwayne Haskins, who grew up with his family and was raised playing football, actually played football, went to college, played for 4 years at Washington State, then went on to join the Washington Redskins, and now he played for the backs. He's the backup on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has died. That's every single tweet. They're like that long.
Right, but this had so much negative shit about him in it.
He's just, describing his life. That is Dwayne Haskins' career.
But the words he used were just crazy. I would never
floundering.
Those words would never come out of my mouth about somebody who's dying. Like
it could be like
he was. You could say like before becoming second string and now trading to the Steelers. You don't have to say his career was floundering. It's fucked up. They got him on another one too. This is like the second one they've gotten him on. I forget what the first one was.
Not Stephen A. Smith. Adam Schefter, he's got to get clicks. He's got to start a pot once in a while. He can't be everybody's dad.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yo, but we were talking about back to the concept of like it could be you in any situation. How about that shit you were talking about in New York?
Oh, like, dude, Thursday. That happened today.
Imagine being there and just thinking like, damn, like,
bro, you got AirPods on.
Am I really here right now while this is happening?
It's your 360th shift at CVS, and you're done for the day. You get on the subway, you got headphones in, and next thing you know, some dude pulls out a pistol and starts shooting everybody on your fucking cart.
Like, why do I feel like I really just tapped into the emotion that you would feel? Like, it's really just you would just feel such a buildup immediately in your chest. Like, what the
bro,
fuck?
You honestly...
am I really here right now while this is going on?
We've never been in a situation like that, but I think you might not even think about it. Like, if you don't survive it, or if you survive it, like, if you get out of the subway cart, you know what I mean? However it happened, I don't know. But if you survive it and you get away, you don't feel what you're feeling until that point. Like, when it's happening, you're probably just, like, completely blank-minded. just moving and reacting and trying to get out of the Dodge and not really thinking, oh my God, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You're probably not even, you probably haven't even taken it in yet. But once you get up to the subway station and run across the street and you're surrounded by 100 more people, you're probably like, what the fuck?
And you're probably thinking, if it's a mass shooting thing like that, you're probably thinking, like, keep fucking going. Because it don't matter if you're surrounded by 100 people.
Yeah.
If the dude comes up the stairs with a machine gun, you're all in trouble.
I don't know.
Well, tell exactly what happened.
I didn't see.
I barely knew when you mentioned it.
Yeah, I didn't see like everything about it. I kind of saw it right before we did this podcast because it just happened. But yeah, now it's up to. So it was 13 injured when I saw it. This is a full-blown attack, bro. All right, so this is all new information. Now it's 16 injured. 5 are confirmed dead. 16 injured. It was 13. And undetonated devices were found. So this was like a whole planned thing. The other thing I heard was that like the shooter... Wait,
someone blew up a subway cart?
Undetonated.
Okay.
There was only a shooting. The detonations never went off.
16 injured, 13 dead?
They probably got shot or something before, at least 16 people were injured, including 8 who were shot. Then when a suspect set off a smoke grenade and unleashed gunfire on a Brooklyn subway train during Tuesday morning rush hour. The New York, the gunman possibly disguised as, so he was wearing like an orange vest and shit. The gunman, possibly disguised as an MTA construction worker and wearing a gas mask, launched his bloody assault around 8:30 a.m. on a Manhattan-bound N train, the North 36th Street station in Sunset Park, where authorities later discovered several undetonated devices. The subject is believed to have set off the smoke grenade moments before firing off a barrage of bullets. Cops and sources said at least 5 people were shot in the third car of the train and others were injured by smoke inhalation. A pregnant woman was among those hospitalized. Bro, these pictures are crazy. Crazy.
Screenshots on.
Yeah. Bro.
Yeah, screenshots on.
Like, and you know what? You're on a subway car. You're on a moving subway car, dude. You're a sitting duck. And there's a smoke grenade that went off, dude. You don't know where the dude's shooting from. That's just such a wild.
You know, it's crazy thing. Though, to wrap everything together from the start. It's like, in the same way that there might still be people out there who are every day, like they wake up and they live in fear of COVID. Like, I'm a type of person who I don't every day live in fear of situations like that, but I feel like I am way more aware of them and I think about them way more than I should. You talking about that subway thing, it's like, it's like, how many times is that ever going to happen? This is one time in how long of the existence of the subway? Maybe it's happened somewhere else, but like all the subways in the world and how long they've been around, it's one time. So it's never going to happen. But I swear, bro, I used to think about that shit all the time when I would be on the subway in Philly. I would always just look at certain people with backpacks, people that just looked like, like they were on the edge of fucking breaking down.
Uh-huh.
And I would just think like, all right, if this dude just pulls out a gun, what is my move? Like, and I would think about that shit way more than I ever should, based on how much it happens. You know what's funny? When I'm high, I'm like more squeamish and like things like that really, really bother me. Like more to my core, but only when I'm high. When I'm sober, I'm a little more desensitized to things. But when I smoke and I get high, like if I see something graphic on TV that I would see normally, I'd be like, like I can't even I don't know. There's something about it that like strikes more of a chord in me. That's true. When you get high, you get that extra you get the extra alertness, and then also you can think so much deeper on the topic you get on. Exactly. Like if you start thinking about that shit, it's a rabbit hole. And it'll just get worse and worse. But if you can just go your whole time after smoking, not thinking about no shit like that. Right. But it's not even just thinking, because right here we're sitting talking, we just smoked. I'm talking about, like, if I were to go get on the subway right now after me and you talked about this, I'd be skitzing. I'd be fucking high alert. Like I wouldn't go do it, honestly. Like I think if I had something planned that I had to go get on the subway for, and me and you just sat here and talked about this after me smoking, I'd change my plans.
Low key, it's not really smart because say this is the first of like tax around the country on like the subway stations. You know, who knows? It could be like an underground alliance that like I have no idea. The guy was 5'5", 170 pounds. He was definitely a pussy, probably some weirdo on the internet, probably on some weird ass forums. Got a smoke grenade and some rifles. That's how easy that shit is too. You can really just order that shit online and go to the subway.
Do you know
and
what
start
he
picking
looked
people
like?
off. No, I just said 5'5", 170
And
pounds.
didn't they call it a terrorist attack?
Yeah. They because there's undetonated devices, you know, smoke grenade. It was definitely planned out. Like this is a planned assault. So it's now it could be a domestic
Did they
terrorist
capture him
attack.
or kill him?
I didn't even get that far into the article. I didn't see it. I don't know. Maybe they don't even have that information yet. And a lot of these times they don't really tend anymore to release the person's name or images of the person because like it's years since like 9/11 and stuff like that, and all these school shootings happened. The way they try to deter people from doing it is that you're gonna get no fame from this or no legacy.
Well, the Boston bombers got like documentaries and shit.
Right. But now like you know, like it's the same thing when you were talking about like you're scared to go on the subway now, like if you were going on today. When the dude shot at the theaters going to Dark Knight, every single time people go to the movies now, like including myself, I talked to a lot of people. Everybody thinks about that now because that dude did it. But now if somebody shot up a movie theater, they're not going to release his picture the way they released Adam Lanza's picture.
Yeah, not even releasing the picture, just telling the story. Because then not only do you know that it's possible by hearing the story, you know there's other crazy motherfuckers just like him that are going to hear that story and potentially get ideas.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we live in Philadelphia. It's a major U.S. city. It's close to New York. Who's to say that they don't have it planned on our subway station right now? And, like, I'm sure that there's, since this happened, the subway carts probably were shut down and they were probably searching subways. You know what I mean? Around the country.
Yeah, one thing I would say, too, to add to the fact of, like, it could be you, is that anybody out there, like, you got to understand, you could be a fucking movie theater shooter, too, in your life. You don't know where the fuck your life is going.
Ain't that crazy?
You don't know. You don't know. You are not something until you are. Something is not true until it is. Something is impossible until it's done.
Or something can happen to you that can throw off your whole psyche. It can really, like, people go schizophrenic. People, like, things happen.
So take care of people got to just take care of their minds, even when you don't feel like you need to. Even when you feel like you're a normal person. Don't let that shit gradually
Chris
slip.
Benoit, bro.
Exactly.
Chris Benoit. You think Chris Benoit, when he was 25, thought he'd murder his kid and strangle his son?
That's a perfect example. That's
No.
literally a perfect example.
And they said when they got his brain, it was literal mush, like a mush brain. Like even though it was him that did it, it wasn't him that did that.
Right.
The Chris Benoit that was alive and well didn't do that. The one that got screwed up did that. Even though it's his fault, right? Because he still did the action. It's a weird kind of gray area where like he was out of his mind.
Yeah.
He was physically not present in his brain. Same thing with Aaron Hernandez. His brain was so shot. Said he had like the brain of like an 80-something-year-old. Like his brain was just so fucking shot that he just acted irrationally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild.
He is a nut-ass dude, Aaron Hernandez.
Gay.
He was gay on the low.
Yeah. He was real gay. Maybe that's why he also acted so crazy. Because his brain was turning to mush and he was like trying to be a thug and trying to be hard, but really he was just sucking bird.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he was mad at it. You know what I mean? It's just
Ain't
like,
that crazy, bro? Like, there's dudes out there that are gay and mad at it.
They're like sucking dick. I'm like, I'm so mad I want to suck this dick. Dead ass, though.
Like, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah, that is. That's got to be horrible.
Like, if anything, you know, there's a lot of weird stuff that comes with the direction that our world is going in. But if anything positive is going to come from it, it's that hopefully there will be no more gay guys who are mad about it.
Well, I think that's like, dude, being gay ain't shit no more. Everyone's pansexual and transsexual. Being gay ain't shit. That's like being straight. Like, it's just as normal.
Yeah, it's honestly like you even saying the word gay. It's like I don't even. It's just like, yeah,
like,
you know, I don't even think there should be. It's to the point where if you just erase gay and straight from vocabulary, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I know gay people. I've worked with gay people that like I wasn't close with. Like I don't like. And when I was 14, 13, I'd be like, oh, he's gay because I'm a fucking 13-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, but like as time goes on, you just
and let's be honest, when you call something gay, bro, when you're like that's gay, Like,
You know what? I did that at work.
It's a new term. It has nothing to do with that realm of sexuality. It's just a new word. It's just like there's a gay that means happy.
Yeah.
There's a gay that means like shitty. That's shitty.
But to me, it's not even like it means shitty. Like if I say like I in the mall, I saw a Daisy Duck Adidas shell top.
Yeah.
With Daisy Duck face on it. And I said, this is gay. Yeah, like it's just like who's wearing that? Just like that lady in Trader Joe's, like the Wonder Woman backpack. It's just so fucking gay. But I actually don't use that term anymore.
Yeah, you kind of do gotta delete it.
Yeah, because like it also sounds unintelligent. Like you just sound like you're not speaking with like.
See, that goes into a deeper topic because I think that like perception is everything.
Oh wait, but I forgot to mention when I said that, I literally looked to who I was with. I was like, I don't even know why that just came out of my mouth. Like that was like just like pulled from the back of my brain. How like I probably would have used to talk when I was in high school, grade school, and it just flew out of my mouth like in public. I was like, this is gay.
And speaking like that does sound kind of uneducated and does sound like not but I believe that people should be able to speak how they grew up and still be recognized as smart. Like you should just be able to. You shouldn't have to worry about how you speak. You should be able to use slang. You should be able to use anything you can to convey to whoever you're speaking to more information.
Well, the problem with that is that like if I was going around saying this is gay and that's gay, like I would sound like a hateful person. But if you actually knew me, I'm not using it in that kind of derogatory sense. You know what I mean?
Imagine if Philly had a mayor who actively used the word John. And he wasn't doing it in like a corny way, like you say about the billboards and shit that say John. If it was a guy who actually understood the ins and outs of John and used it correctly, I bet there's a portion of the city that he would be better able to communicate with by knowing that.
Because it's genuine. Like, people really do talk like that. It's not like...
and the mayor of your city would obviously be an educated man and all that.
Right. So, yeah, if he's at the podium, right, and he's pointing for John in the back right there. You know what I mean? Just like that. Like, just very generic, quick. Like, it was just... It rolled off his tongue like he says it all day.
Right. And more people in the city would understand him and get him because of that. And that's another word that, like, if you use John, if I walked into a fucking high-rise office building and had a meeting with the guy in the penthouse, and I was like, well, we're going to work on this John tomorrow, he'd kick me out. Mm-hmm. But it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, because like at work, I don't talk like that, right? But like I might like I fuck around with slang, like sitting on the podcast or talking to my friends. I'll say John like a random instance for something, you know what I mean, just out of nowhere. But like when I'm at work, I would never say that, ever. I would never say anything like that. And to me, it's more of just like more of a fear of sounding stupid. That's where it comes from for me. If I was to like, be giving people direction at work, and I'm like, yeah, the John right here can be worked on. Oh wait, I got an other crackhead later.
Yeah, the John right here can be worked on. Perfect example of something you should be allowed to say to someone.
Right.
In a professional setting.
Why like you said,
why complicate it?
Some people really do understand that though. If I said, yeah, the John right here can be cleaned up, they'd be like, yeah, I get that. I can clean it up.
100%.
Yeah, slang's weird. Dialects are weird. The fact that you can go down to like Texas and people talk way different is just crazy.
How about that Zelensky, John?
Zelensky being an actor? You told me about. I knew he was an actor, but I didn't know he played the president on TV. Like in Ukraine TV, he played president, and then after became president of Ukraine.
President. It's like a Ronald Reagan Ronald Reagan never played the president,
that dude's
but he was an actor.
Is that like just in Ukraine? Do you have to just be like ripped?
Zelensky jacked?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I saw a picture of the right guy, what's his name?
I don't know. I know his last name's Zelensky.
I'm just gonna put in Prime
Minister of Ukraine. No, the one thing that caught my eye was like he was in one of the Capitol buildings or one of the buildings, just like a state building on a nice set of stairs, and there were like a bunch of sandbags piled up behind him. and they took a picture of him, and then someone found like a picture of the picture being taken, and there's just so many cameras and lights set up in like what's supposed to be like a war-torn environment that it looks so weird. And then someone made the comment, he's an actor, like he always has been an actor. And that's just so true. It's like there's no way, even if he is qualified enough, smart enough to be the president, there's no way that he isn't drawing back or hearkening back to his acting skills when you set up a camera in front of him, a microphone boom above his head, a lighting setup.
Do you think playing president made him a better president?
Definitely. I'm sure it did.
It definitely did. But like, all right, so I can screenshot this. We can put it up maybe. But he's not ripped, but he's got that Eastern European stockiness to him. And the fact, like the way that those guys in Starbucks probably did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this generic, like kind of like low key.
Dude,
like,
he might have been at that might have been him.
Zelensky? Everybody just.
Zelensky was
you
breathing
turn around,
down my
there's
neck
three
at
of them.
Starbucks. Fucking getting intel.
Yes, you can order me something. I'm trying to speak English. But,
3 RPGs.
A bazooka.
Dude,
that's crazy. He's fighting in the war, though. That's props to him. I got respect
the
for him.
video that I sent you on TikTok in the messages, we will get right back on Zelensky. We won't. I'm sorry. TikTok has ruined my attention span, so that's why I'm going on this tangent. But we'll get right back to Zelensky, I swear. The video I sent you that got removed, and you were like, "Oh, it's removed." Damn! It was like a young Middle Eastern kid, and he made like a thing, like a video about him like pretending to be a terrorist. Like, and he made the joke. He made the joke of it. He made light of it. It was him doing it to himself. So I thought it was fucking hilarious because it's No Limit, bro. Mm-hmm. It's No Limit. That's like some type of shit that, you know, is very No Limit. And I guess it was too No Limit because people were commenting crazy shit, and he took it down. The rest of his page is all comedy too. Nothing like that. But that was his most popular video.
That's the thing is, like, dude, I hate the fact that people can't understand an obvious joke. You know what I mean? All it takes is one click on the kid's profile to find out that he's absolutely kidding.
Yeah.
But people don't even go through that hoop. They just immediately like, you are scum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
America. Whatever they're saying on the comment section.
I assumed he probably had to take it down for like school reasons. Like, you know, he probably
Dude,
goes to school somewhere.
People's business.
100%.
Like, my God, get out of their business.
Got to.
Please.
I heard a thing. We're getting back to Zelensky. I didn't forget. Heard a thing. Work is what you use to fund your life, not your life.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But you know, there's work environments that like your bosses expect you to fucking live and breathe.
You want that?
Yeah, sure. You live and breathe.
A few hits in it.
Everything, you know what I mean, work related, and they have like this false perception that you work for like the love of working and not the money. Like, bro, if I wasn't getting paid, I wouldn't even step foot within 100 miles of this place. You know what I mean? Why would I be anywhere close to here if I'm not getting paid for it?
Yeah,
you're crazy.
1000%. So back to Zelensky. Like I was saying, you can't tell me he's not drawing back to his acting skills when they put all that shit in front of him. There's no way. And if you think about it, real presidents, right? Like,
bro, right now, I'm sorry to cut you off. Someone from work can just see me smoking on the podcast and be like, "Oh, we don't like that." You know, like, who gives a shit? Seriously. I'm not even there right now.
Yeah, exactly. It did. They work and school are all up in people's business.
What were you saying about our guy Zelensky?
Like
the podcast?
Real presidents, like Biden, George Bush, Obama, anybody who's been the president of the United States, president of any country, I'm sure that to some extent they study the past presidents.
Yeah.
So I bet in his role acting, he studied presidents. He studied United States presidents. He probably studied previous Ukrainian prime ministers just to see like, oh, when I'm on this show, I got to really act like a president acts. So I'm going to look at all these presidents. Then he used that in his real life to become the real president.
You think Abe Lincoln's the best president?
I know nothing about him.
Just the fact that he had the top hat, he was like 6'5".
Well, he was in the 1800s.
Yeah, but he was the president during Civil War. He ended slavery. Like he was like active, bro.
Abe Lincoln though, he's in that era where you know that I always say nobody is left that knows any fucking thing about what was going on back then.
It's not so far removed.
Yeah, he did.
Like, he absolutely existed in everything.
It was
like
1860 something, right?
People were writing stuff down. It's not that far.
Right.
Like,
it's really not that far.
It's not even 200 years ago.
Think about it. My great grandpa was born in like 1930.
People were still alive.
60 years before that. Maybe more. Like
65 years.
Like
literally.
80 years.
Literally
before
65
that
years was the end of the Civil War before that.
was like, yeah.
65 years.
Yeah. Like,
just the one generation up.
Yeah, so that's not somebody like Columbus who's from like 1492, where I don't know about all that.
You really think that they can there's I guess there's paintings of Columbus because they did portraits then. So I guess that is really what he looked like. But you know how like you see like Cleopatra and stuff? Like, you really believe that's what they look like? I'm big on YouTube Egypt right now.
Egypt?
Just watching all this stuff, dude. Like, it's so
how
crazy.
They built the pyramids, dude, and all that. How they had to have technology to do it.
Do you know how they did it? They it's crazy. But basically, so the 2.3 million stones just on the Pyramid of Giza. They built, I think, 15 pyramids over a 500-year span. But just the Pyramid of Giza, 2.3 million stones. They had to quarry all this stone. And then not only quarry it, but then make it perfectly laser cut focus. And they cut with laser precision. They were putting debit cards. This is years, thousands of years after. Factor in erosion, factor in all these things. They were putting debit cards to the slits between the stones, and you can't get it in. It's laser cut completely. And they're tall. What they did was they built ramps along the sides of it. Right. So like they would pull by rope. Like eight dudes would pull one stone all the way to the top.
Let me combat that because I'm not as deep into it as you are if you're watching a ton of videos, but I did see a video recently that argued with that theory that the slope of these pyramids, especially near the top, the distance of a ramp that you would have to have with that slope is like insane. Like the guy was saying something about like at a certain point of the pyramid, in order to have like X amount of people pull up this ramp, you would need a 2,000-foot ramp and all these people pulling it just to be able to physically like get it to that point without like injuring themselves or fucking the thing falling back down the slope.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. You really think they did that?
I mean,
because on top of quarrying all the stone and building the pyramids, you also then have to build a 2,000-foot ramp that's flat.
The fact of it is that we just don't know. Like, that's far enough. That's before Jesus, bro.
And listen,
like, this is so far back that you just don't know. But there is some evidence of things, but we just also, with all that evidence that we have, we still don't know. They said before they were built by slaves, but like they found bones and stuff by sites, and like it was definitely Egyptians who built them.
Let me get real no limit conspiracy theorist on you real quick.
Oh, I was talking on the wrong side of the mic.
The real fact is,
we're good.
They could have built those things in 1840, and then it's close enough. Like, look, we said.
All right, real quick before you go any further, you don't think that that they can test how far back these things go with DNA
with the rocks
but like bones that were like they can go back with DNA and find at least how old these things are a little bit. Get like a general idea.
I know that I've been told they can.
Okay, right. So you're still going deep in.
No, I'm not saying that I believe this at all. I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility. If you were to agree, like, all right, let's say that some conspiracy theorists are right that there are like a small group of families who are at the top of the world and have kind of controlled things for the least the last like 200, 300 years. Because I would agree, like we said about the Lincoln thing, that 1860, 1850, it's far enough back that you can question some things, but it's not far enough back that
you can deny it.
That it's like, that anything is completely out of there. On top of that, I would say that same time frame is enough time for one of these so-called families, if you would say that they, run the world, to start that planning process. If you're at the top of the world in 1850 or like, way back in history, like they say most of these families that currently are in control would be, then 150 years is not too long of a plan to come up with, to be honest. That's like 3 generations of family. Mm-hmm. So if in 1850 you had a bunch of guys get together and be like, we're going to build these pyramids and we'll start telling people now that Egyptians built them years and years ago, right? And in 1850, nobody fucking believes you because they're like, we just seen you do it.
But what?
Right?
But time goes on and people forget.
Time keeps going on, right? And then eventually, there's nobody, I would say, in 1960, all right, even further, let's say somebody made it to 120. In 1970, there's not one person from 1850 around. In 1940, there's probably not that many people from 1850 around. All of a sudden, your story seems a lot more. All of a sudden, your story seems a lot more legitimate. And if you were smart enough and had the forethinking to think like this is a 150-year plan, this isn't a thing we're hoping people to believe by next year. We're hoping that in 150 years, there's nobody around who can say that these Jones weren't built fucking thousands of years ago, and people will have these nonsense debates over how they got built and have these crazy things of they must have had all this technology and there must have been civilization before. When in reality, a couple dudes with a couple brain cells between them decided to make this shit up 150 years ago.
Imagine how crazy it was for the first modern like human to discover like the Sphinx and like see it and then see it like what the whoa. Like, bro, that my head would probably
what's going on here?
Just clear off my body. My head would take off if I was the person to discover that. Oh my god, I don't even know, dude. That would really blow my mind. But it's just a crazy thing. Like, you can really walk around that stuff today. Like, you can go to the pyramids, you can go to the Sphinx, and just, like, walk around it and be like, this was a whole civilization that crumbled. Just, like, that's, like, 500 years from now, walking around and just, like, looking at, like, old houses that are empty and, like, broken into because there's animals everywhere, and just be like, wow, people really lived here. And, like, monuments and statues and buildings. Imagine seeing skyscrapers 1,000 years from now when humanity's been, like, wiped out. But like a new humanity rises.
I imagine that it will, when humanity's been wiped out, it will actually look a lot like the movie I Am Legend.
Really?
I think they had it pretty spot on of what shit's gonna look like.
This documentary I saw. Well, I didn't even see it. My dad was watching it. He was telling me about it. It was a time traveler. And it was like a 30-minute thing, he said. But like the guy was from like 3060 or something like that. And he said that everyone lives in pods and all this stuff, and he had a chip in his hand, and the guy was found dead, and his hand was cut off. Yeah. Swear to God. He said everybody in my day has these chips in their hand, and he said he was from 3060. He said cell phones give everybody cancer. Remember I said that? Cell phones are bad for everybody. They kill everybody. And, like, our time period, they refer to everybody from, like, our time period as stupid.
Our time period?
Yeah, like, they had everything wrong. Like, with the environment and, like, driving tractor trailers and get, like, dark clouds and smoke in the air. I do believe that,
bro. I said before, I think we've gone extremely far in the wrong direction.
So do I. I do, too.
And we're too prideful to just halt.
Like, I think the last time period that existed that could have, if it stayed that way, it could have gone on forever was, like, 1995. If society stayed as advanced as 1995... I think that it'd be fine to go on forever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get cell phones. There wasn't,
But there wasn't still phones.
But no cell phones. Say population, like, didn't get out of control.
Computers, no laptops.
There wasn't so many cars on the road, and, like, it just stayed humble. You know what I mean?
Right.
There was no internet to brainwash everybody and screw up everybody's minds.
Yeah, it's almost like we got the internet and everybody was like, look what I can do with this. And just started going harder.
And look how crazy it is now.
And I could use this and do this. And just went further.
And that still happens today
further.
with, like, exactly what you're saying. I can do this, and you can make Obama say anything you want now.
Yeah.
You can get a video of Obama completely fake saying whatever he wants. Because the internet has gotten so crazy. And people believe it, dude. People believe anything. You can see, like, you can go on Facebook, and it'll say 75 million people just died off the coast of Costa Rica. Something wild. And it'll see, like, itunes.cloudnews.biz. And you'll have some old lady sharing and be like, I can't believe this is going on and no one's talking about it. And in her mind that day, that's what she's like. Did you hear what happened in Costa Rica? 70 million people were killed. A completely outlandish thing. But that's how, like, the internet has really warped everyone's brain, dude. It's insane. Remember I told you my dad sent me a picture? My dad texted me a picture of Jalen Hurts wearing a Saints uniform. And it said, NFL memes. Eagles unveil new uniforms before playoffs. My dad said, they look like the Saints. Like, bro, It's the Saints. They crowd Jalen Hurts into the Saints. My dad literally texted me and said, it looks like the Saints. From NFL memes. And he's 54. He's not old. He's not, he doesn't have dementia.
You're roasting, bro. He's going to come in and fuck you up.
What if he did that?
That'd
be crazy if he came in and me and him fought live on air. That'd be the greatest podcast ever. But like genuine. Like say like that was his final straw. He was like, you're a punk. And he just came in and just tried to swing on me. And me and him started duking.
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yo, but we just got so fucking no limit and deep that we got to write out this episode on what may become a new segment every week. The Jake topic.
The Jake topic?
Jake 3 question
mark. Yeah,
what's
Jake's topic this week? So, actually, I got it on my phone. Jake sent this in. So,
read it exactly as he said, and we'll just break it down from there.
All right. So, Jake said...
If you remember Jake from last week on Trev's episode, Jake just got questions. I told him that. I said, Jake, you just got questions, bro, and I love it. And I want to introduce some of these questions every week.
Yeah, and he came with another heater. I thought the questions he came with last week were pretty good. They spark conversation. So he says, okay, I don't know how to really make this short and punchy. And there can be a lot of views. Magnets, electricity, heat, gravity are all forces you can't see, but you can tell they're still there. Do you believe that there's other ones?
So he's talking about, say the ones that he said.
Magnets, electricity, heat, gravity are all forces you can't see, but can still tell are there.
Well, magnet, first of all, the first one, magnet, you can kind of see it. Because if you got two magnets, you see them magnetize. Now,
yeah,
I don't,
but like,
there is some science behind that.
That in between the two magnets, so you have magnet A and magnet B, and you have them going against each other, or two batteries.
Right.
Like, you feel that force of energy. But isn't that man-made? But I guess electricity is a force of the universe.
Well, I was going to say, that one specifically, magnet, I think there's like a scientific reasoning behind why magnets stick together.
Okay, so electricity is the reason this room is powered.
So,
but we're using electricity, which is a force of the universe, to fuel these things.
Right.
It's a force. But you can see electricity because not only does it fuel everything that we run on, but you can see it strike the earth from the sky.
Yeah, and I would say that most of the ones he mentioned, some of them you can't see, but other senses apply. Like heat. Didn't he say heat?
Mm-hmm.
Like the heat comes from the sun.
Wind.
You just feel that. You don't see it. Yeah, wind is the
we
craziest one.
We talked about wind
where's
before.
Where's wind come from?
And what is it?
It just...
But like, yeah,
air
where's
blowing,
it? How far is it coming from?
On? Turn the AC off.
Now, I think I saw before that wind comes straight down and in. And then when you're feeling wind, that's how it's coming. It's coming straight down and into you. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's a tornado?
Yeah.
Tornadoes are crazy. They really lift houses and stuff off the ground.
So his magnets, we said there's like a scientific thing. There's something going on there. That's not really a force, I don't think. That's like someone figured that out, like certain elements. Like
no, there's a force there.
There's something about that.
There's a force there, though. It's got to be some kind of element that we're exploiting through the use of magnets. But we're you know what I mean? That
is interesting.
The force between a magnet or two batteries.
I don't feel like we think
about
that enough. The fact that like you could just have this thing called a magnet and you go like this and anything.
It's a magnetic field.
And anything metal just comes.
So a magnet is a material or object that produces a magnetic field. So a magnetic field is just an element of space in the universe, and we use magnets to harness that on our body real quick.
So. Like he's saying, do you think there's more of them? That means that, and like we said earlier, something isn't in existence until it's not. There was a time in the world before magnets. And then the first magnet was probably like a mind-blowing experience. Now, we could find something else that does something. And that me and you can sit here for as long as we want, and we'll never be able to describe this thing that we could find because you don't know it's out there until it's just there. It pops up. Gets figured out somehow.
Fire, air, earth.
Fucking magnets, how do they work? And I don't want to talk to a scientist. Y'all motherfuckers lying and getting me pissed.
Shout out Shaggy 2 Dope for them. Dude, that is though. How do magnets work?
I don't even know. And like if you put them on your fucking laptop screen or your phone screen, they like suck all the imagery out somehow. Like your phone supposedly gets all fucked up and wonky.
Dude,
like,
and your body has electricity in it. Like your body has electricity. You can like I don't know. There's like different forms of these elements too.
And you can actually transfer it to other things. Like I found out, for anybody out there, just a no limit tip, if you have static in your house and you find yourself getting shocked, just like touch something wooden. Because all the conduction in your body goes to the wood thing.
How wild is that you can harness that? Like that's why you get shocked when you touch stuff, because you're harnessing like live voltage in your body.
And all you got to do is just rub it on wood, like give it to wood, and then you can open the door.
Dude, that'd be, what if somebody's like, you know, some people have like, you know, crazy limbs and stuff, or they can jump real high. What if your like voltage was just so high? So like when you tap people, it like burned them or like sent them to the hospital.
And you could just handle it?
Yeah. Or not. See how sometimes like you randomly just spark stuff. What if it was just as random as like... That could
be like a mutation of humans.
You touch your dog and spark him and he dies. And you're like, the 8th one this year. Fuck.
Yeah. You could definitely have a mutant of a human who gets there. I think to answer Jake's question, though, is that there is definitely stuff out there that we don't know about yet, forces like that. Now, heat, though, is an interesting one. Like, obviously, heat comes from the sun. So you definitely see that. Like, you see it right there.
Why, though? Like, now...
The sun is out in the winter. Sometimes the winter sun in the morning is like the brightest sun you've ever seen. Why is it 30 degrees, though?
Right, and if you stand in... There's definitely a reason for this. We're just stupid, I think. But
100%. Uninformed only.
If you stand in the sun on a February day, you might feel warm because you're standing in the sun. You know what I mean? If you're in the shade, you're going to be a lot colder. But why does it turn you... I guess like the way the Earth is spinning, and it's... I don't know. It's got to be something like that. Like where we are in North America at the month of June spins to a place where I guess the sun is just stronger or something like that. I don't know, but it's got to be that.
Yeah, it's got me.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
The real answer is we don't got an answer for none of this.
Yeah.
Dude, how'd I have that coffee and then get all this tiredness just hit me right now?
That's how you know you have ADHD.
Really?
Yeah, I think. Or ADD. What's the difference? Attention deficit disorder or...
Wait, so you're saying if you got ADD, you drink coffee and get tired?
Yeah.
Are you being serious, or you just like no limiting on me?
I mean, I could... Uninformed opinions, bro. I could be talking right out of my ass. But that's kind of... I've definitely heard it.
Uninformed opinions? You ever been to Binions?
Did you ever see the Minions?
He kicked me in my shinion.
I got accepted by Old Dominion.
I went to the circus. It was Ringling.
I got a new topic. What's your opinion?
I said, Mom, what's for Din?
I don't like that one. You can't really go. You can't go too hard with opinion though.
Got in the truck, revved the engine.
Nah, you're going too crazy. I can't even match it now. I was enjoying the Old Dominion.
Going too crazy, like my name was the real Slim
Going
Shady.
too crazy. The name is Slade. No, I listen to a lot. Superman by Eminem. He goes crazy in that song, bro. He's like talking about slapping girls and stuff. How is he getting away with that? Like, how's he not mega canceled? Like, how people aren't like digging his stuff up and like calling for his head is crazy.
They've gone back and edited.
Is it because
stuff out of his songs?
Is it because he just steered so fucking hard into it that it's like he became like not cancelable?
Nah, because back then he didn't know that cancel culture was ever going to be a thing. Now, they are removing certain stuff from his songs.
Leave handprints all across you. Like, that's crazy.
Slap you off that bar stool.
Put anthrax on a 10 facts and slap you till you can't stand. That's crazy, bro. He is a nut, though. Then he's got, like, this song, like, Hate You or Kill You or whatever. And he's just talking about, like, killing his mom or whatever.
Why don't you want to No Limit rhyme with me this week? You ain't feeling it? You ain't got
I was on the Dominion opinion.
Dominion opinions, your only one?
Dominion. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my juices are getting tapped. Booty getting tapped.
I'm trying to think. Like, I couldn't think of words that had that Indian. But there is a lot of them. Dominion, opinion.
Booty getting tapped. Eddie getting zapped.
Eddie getting zapped. Eddie getting sacked. And his name was Warren Sapp. Like his name was McNabb.
Eddie gay. He be getting clapped in the back.
He be getting clapped straight up in the back of the Cadillac. Of the Cadillac, we listen to Rat-a-tat.
Do you fuck with that? Listen to Rat-a-tat. Do you fuck with that? I like how I put like I don't know what kind of accent I was doing.
Danny talking about his dad. What's gonna be the straw that broke the camel's back?
Dad, I'm talking back. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna come in that room and get you this fucking boot.
I'm gonna get nuts. George Bush, throw a shoe. Eddie came right in. He said, I gotta take a poo.
At the party getting buck, we throwing horseshoes.
I wonder how much the audience hates this segment.
They love it, bro.
They love it?
Yeah, they love it.
They love it. Give
And
the people what they want.
And it's squished at the very end.
Yeah, just like a little
send-off. You gotta listen to
off.
get it.
Yeah. We should start the podcast like with it before cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be possible.
Yeah.
Cameras, dammers. I think we did our longest podcast ever, bro.
No.
Nah, I'm dead ass. That might be like 2 hours. Not even kidding. That's been it for
You're
another
fucking
podcast
high.
episode. It don't even matter. The camera definitely went off. Peace.
Love you.